Hello, world. I'm Dr. Helen, CEO, that's Chief Engagement Officer of Dr. Helen Holton and Associates, and your host for Dr. Helen Speaks, Strengths, Resilience, and Leadership. Welcome to today's show. As a strengths, resilience, and leadership coach, the greatest thing we do for you is stand in the gap for leaders, especially women leaders. My passion, my heart. Wonder why. But leaders like you who want more for your life and your leadership. Our number one goal is to motivate, inspire, and move you forward in pursuit of your goals, dreams, and desires. You know, your greatest you is ready to break through to your best you. Each week, we come together to explore topics, to discover, uncover, and unpack ways for you to leverage your strengths, the best of who you are, manage weaknesses. We all have them. There's no need in denying them. And build your resilience. Resilience is that power to persevere and push through life's distractions, detours, and derailers of your success. That's right, resilience. Using an innovative and heart-centered approach with proven results, we help you achieve more success, less stress, and deeper fulfillment or joy in life. What does success look like? An increase in your performance, productivity, and prosperity potential. Don't get it twisted, profits do matter. A stronger bottom line. Everybody's watching them these days, especially as tight as the economy is. It's one of the first places you're going to see to gauge, am I sinking or am I swimming? What's happening? Just imagine being able to breathe easier and to exhale, even in spite of the ever-increasing demands on your time, talents, and treasures. What we know today is that the struggle is real. So as your show host, coach, and convener of leaders, we'll talk about how you can optimize your leadership. We're shifting gears this week. You know how I like to move it up, move it around, and keep you going with new ways and opportunities to bring your best self and to have more tools. I hate to say the word tools, but have more gadgets in your purse. How about that? We're going to start off this next series talking about learn, burn, earn your success. What does that mean? Thank you for asking. Here's a brief overview as we unpack this over the next few weeks. Born to learn to earn to burn. Now, where did that come from? My virtual assistant found this quote by Namratha G. She's a young Indian woman that for 7 years or more has been publishing her own quotes. An accountant by profession. Can I tell you that gave me goosebumps? I'd never heard it before. I'd never heard of her. However, it's one of those things that easily can be in that space of generational differences, not calling anything out. But I encounter quite a few people these days that think and do differently, and it's really okay, but I'm noticing. The other thing that I noticed that was really very affirming is that as I thought about learn, burn, and earn, I thought about that learning of new knowledge. How do you set your intentions to regularly learn something new, acquire new knowledge? What's it feel like when you do it? Learn. Burn. Do you know what it feels like to have that deep passion or desire that is about how you can make a difference in the world? Being you, bringing your best self to it. The power is that you're the only one who can fulfill that fire that burns deep within you. Do you know what that feels like for you? How would you explain it to someone else? So when you think about burn, I think about the spirit that lives within me, that there are times in my life when, okay, I know it's time for me to do something different. I sense it. I feel it. Some might say the universe is really drawing me to it. It's creating these opportunities, these growth moments for me to do and be more of what I'm really feeling about myself on the inside. Earn. Earn is really about the gratification you receive. It's that sense of accomplishment, personal fulfillment. Maybe it's a bucket list item that you've had that you want to achieve it so that you feel like, yes, I've done something that was really important to me. And of course, it could very well be money, 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 money. Okay, it's the OJs. I think it was the OJs, a little nostalgia going back. You remember when that song came out and it was like, yeah, that's what I want, more money, more money. However, the longer you live, you begin to realize money is not the ultimate motivator or momentum that drives us or really fuels that burn to do it, make it happen. Think, be, and do. So today we're kicking it off with a deeper dive into lifelong learning. Now, I always like to start off at the top of the show asking this one poignant question. Do you have the opportunity to do what you do best every day? I want you to really spend some time thinking about that. And I say it every week. However, human nature says, just because I hear it every week doesn't mean I take note of it, doesn't mean I'm really interested in it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is really a big deal. Do you know what you're best at every day? There are a lot of leaders out here that do a lot of things. Some you belabor through because you've got to get them done. How do you pinpoint those things that are really when you're in your sweet spot and you know it, that you can claim it, you can name it, you can focus your energies towards it? If you don't know, stick around. We're here to help you figure that out, what you do best. I love what I do, and I know it's the best of what I do because I wake up every day excited about it. And being excited about it first thing in the morning doesn't mean it's going to pan out that way at the end of the day. However, to wake up with that gives you that extra to jump out of bed and feel like, yes, I got that chance to do what I love. Just a little more learning. Here's what we've learned. At the heart of what you want lives within you a higher power to deepen your awareness and engagement of your best self. Isn't that the person you really want the world to see? And when you get real with you, and I mean really real, and confront your deepest truth about what you want for your life, change, transformation begins to happen at that moment. So keep that in mind. Sometimes that's the very thing we gloss over and dismiss because we've been thinking about it so long and we just figure, oh, that's too far of a stretch or a reach for me to pursue. And it's not always about who you are professionally in the world, how you're making your way, making your mark, or earning your living. It could be something that's personally important for you to accomplish, to achieve, to have that sense of, wow. The key ingredient is your engagement. Engagement is one of the easiest, most effective ways to upshift your success through your personal, unique path to be seen, heard, and impactful. That's what sets you apart from everyone else. On some level, isn't that what you really want for your life? To have a genuine sense of belonging, where the world gets to connect with the best of who you are? Our goal is to help you bring your best, your A game. Bring it to the world. Don't live life on the sidelines. You got to jump in and get in the game. Yeah. It's here that we support and guide you to connect and engage deeper with who you are at your very best. You know what that is, even if you haven't shared it with others. We're going to get you to the point where you're looking forward to sharing it with others, that it becomes who you are. And don't you want the world to know? Your next greatest opportunity could be right on the other side of bringing your A game. Along your life's journey, you've also learned some things. Now, I'm making that assumption going out on a limb, but I'm only kidding. I know you've learned some things. You wouldn't be here if you hadn't learned some things. Given up some stuff. That's right. Sometimes we got to give up some stuff that's not serving us like something else might be. Going back to engagement, and it begins with engaging deeper with you. And hopefully along the way, you've grown up some too. Yeah, you've done the big thing. You've put your big girl panties on and said, okay, I got to go do this thing. Have you failed? Have you failed forward? And there's a distinct difference between just failing and failing forward. Sometimes you might fail and feel like, I'm done with that. Forget it. I'm not doing it. When you fail forward, you actually pause to understand, or at least acknowledge, where you may have missed the mark, what you could have done differently. Think about it. In childhood, learning informally is like learning how to ride a bike. Now, the first time those training wheels came off, did you just ride that bike as if they'd never been on there? Or maybe did you fall a time or two to get your bearing, to understand the balance that keeps you on those two wheels, those two little skinny wheels moving forward? There's a difference. And what's it feel like to start over? You know, that's a learning also. Oftentimes we don't want to acknowledge it as such. It's a learning. To give yourself a fresh beginning, a do-over. You know, in golf, they call that a mulligan, and you usually have to pay for them. I've only really seen them during golf tournaments, and what you pay for the mulligan goes towards whatever charity the tournament's being done to support. But that mulligan says if you're on the green, or maybe it's your drive and you just didn't swing your club right or hit that putt the way you wanted to, you can cash in that mulligan and get a do-over, a fresh start, as if you hadn't done it before. And I just love this quote. Sometimes I find a quote and I get really fixated on it because, like, yeah, I've known that and I have known this. I should have said that's a quote from Dr. Helen, but that's okay. I'm going to give credit where it's due. It was Tracy McMillan who said, everything works out in the end. And if it hasn't worked out yet, then it's not the end. The truth of what you want has the best chance of success when you stay focused and committed to making it happen. Our role when we show up every week, and our primary goal, is to support you on your path to live your best life ever. And we're here to motivate you and move you forward toward your goals on your terms. So think about this. What keeps you moving forward from here to what's next? What's next on your horizon? What next thing are you looking that says, maybe I could pick up something to make that happen differently or faster, or maybe it's time to shift. It takes some learning, some experience, maybe even some falling down. I don't know. But Dr. Helen Speaks is here live on the Win-Win Women TV network every Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific time and 1 p.m. Eastern time. And you can catch our show on Roku TV, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. And soon we'll be live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and in our private Facebook group, Strengths, Resilience, and Leadership. So if you're not in there, go ahead and jump in there, because you never know when that might be the best device for you to catch what we're saying and catch it live. And it'll be a slightly different format when we go to LinkedIn, because it's a different format, a platform. But stay in touch with us, because what we know, there's not a new thing under the sun. And what is new is your knowledge, perspectives, and actions you take through a more informed lens, shaped by the wisdom of lessons learned, lived experiences, and earned expertise from leaders just like you. And I see Dr. Gwen out here today, and she gets it. As does Shelley. I love it, So everybody just come and hang out with us some. We're here to ignite your spark and fuel your flame to think, be, and do. TBD. More and more of who you really are to get more of what you really want for your life as a leader. It is our honor and privilege to pay it forward through you. And one of the ways we do that is at Dr. Helen Speaks, we give a shout out to Paula Fellingham, founder, visionary leader, and dream weaver of the Win-Win Women Network, where together we share, learn, and grow to motivate and inspire your success as a leader. Now, before we take a deeper dive, grab your note-taking device, pen and paper, tablet, computer. We want you to capture the notable nuggets of wisdom, insight, and aha moments that will empower you to think, be, and do more. We don't want you to miss anything. And just in case you do, you can always catch the replay from one of our outlets. So put this show on your calendar as a weekly meeting. Share it with your friends and colleagues. Let's make our circle bigger. No need to keep it all to yourself. You ready to go? Great. Me too. Learn, burn, earn. Lifelong learning. What is lifelong learning? You've been doing it all of your life. Maybe you didn't call it that. Think about when's the last time you decided, if you're one of those that likes to cook, yeah, I think I want to try this new dish. And you go get all the ingredients and you set yourself up. It's a new learning. How does that new learning nourish your spirit? How does it nourish the you that isn't about being on at work? And I'm not discounting those learnings we do professionally because they're lifelong also. But I want to talk about that learning that goes beyond what you need to do to maintain credentials and certifications and things that say, oh, yes, I have expertise in that, and I still get to keep those letters or titles that I put out to the world that help me make the magic happen, cook the soup, whatever you want to call it. It's about maintaining your life as a living organism. Think about plants and flowers that need to be nurtured and tended to, as do our souls, our spirits, that part of us that, our mental well-being just gets a little better when we're active with it, keeping it actively engaged. What happens if we go from exercising every day to nothing? In a few weeks, you're going to feel a little differently. Versus if you do a little along the way every day and it becomes habit, and you do a little more and you begin to feel better. And it's funny, I would use the word exercise because exercise reduces those endorphins that make you feel better. You're activating a different part of that well-made organism that you are. Yes, that's, as Dr. Gwen might say, the science and the spirit of who we are. Yes. It's also, lifelong learning is really more voluntary for personal fulfillment that excites you and keeps you curious about the what ifs of your life and who you are when you show up in the world. So when we talk about lifelong learning, it's not like it's requirements. So you've got to take this test at the end. It's more about, how do I round myself out and not be so singularly focused? So it's really the work you do at becoming more of the whole of you. It adds joy and laughter to your life. Now, I know I sure could use more joy and laughter these days, and it makes a difference when you get it. It lightens whatever else is going on that's not keeping you uplifted and feeling like, oh, I don't have to worry about that because I have this, that, or the other. It's like the basket full of unfinished projects I have. Oh, when I was really into knitting, and I've had seasons of knitting, and I've made some things that when I see them, it's like, wow, I made that. Yeah. Lifelong learning. It's downloading an app like, oh, of course, I can't think of one of the names of them now, where you can learn another language, very easily just by listening. And, you've got that voice that helps you with pronunciation and rolling those R's that are so critical, especially in Spanish. However, you got to stick to it. But with lifelong learning, you can do a little bit and maybe just be conversational on the periphery. So when you travel to other places, you can at least say, good morning, how are you? My name is, or thank you, please. And a very important one that I learned when I arrived at an airport in Mexico, and Spanish was the first language over English. And I said, OMG. I did learn to say, ¿Dónde el baño? Where is the restroom? Now, I don't know if that how it translates specifically, but you say that to someone and they'll certainly be able to point you in the right direction. Lifelong learning. It's not about so much what it is as much as it's about entertaining and exciting your brain. That helps, if it's something you do beyond your brain, helps your body to do something different. So I thought we'd have a little fun today. I came across this list of how to practice lifelong learning. And I looked at the list, so I'm going to read a couple of these off this list here and see if they trigger something for you. And I thought about this and I said, let me tell you what it is first. Plan day trips and take tours. And I said, yeah, I've done that before. And then I thought, but I don't want to do it if I have to drive. I'm not one of those people that likes to drive. I know people who love to say, oh, driving to South Carolina from Maryland for the weekend. Bye, have fun by yourself. And I'm like, no, I need some people in the car with me, and not people in the car with me sleeping, but people in the car with me talking, entertaining, watching out for things. I just, after 4 or 5 hours, I'm like, can we just go to the airport and get there and rent a car, and drive around? However, for some people, it's a perfect way to practice lifelong learning. Navigating the maps, and not one of my things. I already know that's someone else's job to do. I wondered today, how'd I ever get anywhere before GPS? How about a nature hike or reading all kinds of poetry? If nothing else, it'll give you a deeper appreciation for the types of poetry you like and those that you could just say, not me. Without that learning experience, how would you even know that? How about hosting a foreign exchange student? I remember growing up, my mom would sometimes allow college students, or I remember a South African family came to stay with us during apartheid, and they were missionaries and they were getting away just to refuel and recharge to go back to the struggle. And when you talk about being up close with people with cultural differences, yeah, great learning opportunity that sparked in me early in life a desire to know more about people who are different than me. Yeah, I guess that may have been the precursor to me doing cultural competency work and helping people figure out, how can I get along with people who are different than who I am? And then it was, here's another one. Oh, I'm a big one for this. What about you? Attend seminars on topics that interest you. Yes, yes, yes. Of course, these days, it's harder to find the ones that you really get something out of without it costing you an arm and a leg. However, lifelong learning has got lots of opportunities. It could be something as simple as watching a documentary on something that you were vaguely curious about. And maybe it's a long holiday weekend and you say, maybe I'll take a few minutes to watch that documentary, to look it up on PBS or whatever station carries it. Joining a book club. Oh my goodness, I've belonged to several book clubs. So lifelong learning is not something that we have to be about, here we go, as I said earlier, maintaining credentials, certifications, work requirements, uh, continuing professional education, all of those things. However, there are times that they're spot on. And so don't discount them. Be open to all kinds of opportunities that you can step into that are going to help you to do just that. What are the benefits of lifelong learning? Well, lifelong learning, believe it or not, helps you improve your own self-confidence, how you feel about yourself in the world. Can I go to a social event and be conversational about things that are off the beaten path, just to spark an interesting conversation? It also keeps you from being bored. Mhm. I love reading. And here's the funny thing, if I look at how many books I've finished from start to finish, no, it doesn't compare to how many I've started. And I'm famous for like going to the back to see what's back there, starting in the index if there's one, or going through the table of contents and starting with those things that really capture me. Sometimes I read a book from the middle, going to the opposite ends, to the beginning and to the end. Who knows? There are all sorts of ways. Oh, and YouTube today. All right. Confession. I don't know that I'm down for new learning opportunities this way. But when I've got to figure out how to maneuver a new piece of technology or app or something, oh my goodness, why does the whole world want you to go to YouTube and figure out how to do it? You know how many times sometimes I got to rewind that YouTube to get that one piece that's going to make the difference in it working or not? The bottom line is this: lifelong learning is something to keep in mind. Am I learning something new? And so, as we're wrapping up for today, I've always got to leave you with a call to action. What are you willing? What new learning opportunity or curiosity will you pursue this week, starting today? What new learning opportunity or curiosity will you pursue this week in the vein of lifelong learning will you start today? I mean, if you don't like it, don't do it. However, how will you know if you don't like it? If you don't even allow yourself to venture down that path to see what it is. What you really want for your life is wrapped up in you, in your desires. Sounds like burn. Your desires, your dreams, passions, pursuits, your imprint that you want to make on this world. Yes, that's very real. Desires, number one, your desires. Number two, your purpose. What are you here for? What mark do you want to leave in this world? And that might involve some learning new things. It might involve that passion that burns inside of you. In addition to your desires, it's all related. Learn, burn, and earn. Because the earning can so easily be your own sense of fulfillment around what you're doing, why it matters. And then, of course, there's your sauciness. That's right. That irrepressible spirit of sass that lives within you. Now, my mama will tell you, I've had that sass all my life. Maybe so, but it's different when it's there and you don't know it than when you know it. Yes, I got a little sauciness with me. I see my good friend, Miss Jerry Waddell on here. I know she's got some with her. I love it. It's one of the things I admire about her. But it's that part of you which makes you unstoppable. You want life on your terms and you're willing to go and get it. Yeah. So keep this in mind. The things that matter most to you are the things that get your attention most. They represent you, your unique imprint on this planet, the influence you have on human beings that follow you and what you do. Your influence is tied to your leadership. It's your legacy in motion. You're building it as you go along. Be mindful of that. It begins with you in your purpose, passions, and pursuit of life. What new learning opportunity or curiosity will you pursue this week, starting today? Do you have the chance to do what you do best every day? If yes, that's great. Something we share in common. If you've picked up a nugget or two to stretch you, grow you a little more, then take action. Remember the TBD principle, think, do, be. Just do it. And if you want more support, reach out to us. Let's talk about it. Wherever you are on your path to success is exactly where you're supposed to be right now. And our mission is to keep you moving forward. At Dr. Helen Holton and Associates, we work with leaders using a heart-centered approach to help you optimize your strengths for more success, less stress, and greater fulfillment in life. Keep coming back for more. Share our show with your friends and colleagues. Who do you know that would appreciate our show? And it's our show because it happens because you're here. I'm living my best life ever, and I want that for you too, right now. What are you waiting for? Join the community. Join us, and we'll see you next week on Dr. Helen Speaks.